This week's Or You Die
Yep.
is brought to you by Stingers, who wrote it down in the comments. Don't worry, I'm not doing side deals. Stingers is the guy who wrote a question in the comments last week.
Okay.
So, Tottenham and Arsenal get relegated,
Yeah.
or Spurs win the league but Arsenal win the Champions League. Or you die, answer it.
What I don't understand, you're supposed both teams get relegated,
Yeah.
and then Spurs win the league.
Or...
Alright.
Right. Tottenham and Arsenal both get relegated.
No, I got you.
Or Spurs win the league but Arsenal win the Champions League. Answer it or you die.
You answer it, CJ.
And then the opposite, obviously, for Deluded Gooner, who's joining us today. Otherwise known as CJ. We're going to call
Essentially
CJ.
asking what's more important, isn't it? What is the winning the Premier League? What does it trump over your rivals winning the Champions League?
Personally, because I really want the Champions League because of what happened in 06, I'd probably take the Champions League option. So yeah.
What happened in 06?
May. I mean, what happened in May? Paris.
Yeah.
What lost to Barcelona, where it's 17 minutes away from thinking it.
So close.
Spurs haven't even been in the final, so...
You knew that, didn't you? You knew that.
I didn't know that. I watched the game.
Let's not start off on the wrong foot.
Right.
I can feel the tension already.
Sorry.
I feel like, the referee in Gladiators, Google it, who's like just kind of trying to keep you apart.
It doesn't matter what we do. It doesn't matter which one we win, right? Because it just the same tired things are coming out. Right? Well, if we won the Champions League, which Arsenal have never done, Spurs have never done, it'll be like, well, you haven't won the league. And it's just, so it doesn't matter. It's nice question, but I can't be asked.
No, you have to, or you die.
Oh, I'll die then.
What you'd rather?
I'd rather die than answer the question.
Okay, I never thought of it that way. There is a third option. You can always just die.
I think winning the Champions League, that's seen as a more difficult thing to do than winning the league. Although I don't necessarily.
No, but hang on.
agree.
So Spurs win the league.
I think
Arsenal win the Champions
win the
League.
champs.
On the same season.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I would take winning the
dropped.
league if it means champs. Because like you just said, I'll use
So
that
you get the
exact
league.
Yeah.
It's not
But
enough.
they get
You've got to get the
Champions
better
League.
thing. You've got to get the better thing. So yeah, Champions League.
So you'd rather you both got relegated. That at least you're on.
No, that's the answer. That's the answer, definitely for me. Because no, I get it. What I'm saying is that's a better answer than the winning, right? Because both of us get relegated. Arsenal fans wouldn't be able to cope with that. Spurs were built for failure. Yeah, we're built to understand and accept and see the beauty in our football club, despite or the success or lack thereof it. Right. Arsenal fan, can you imagine what happened to your football club? It would Arsenal fan TV would be.
That's true.
Incredible. It'd be the most watched media product on earth.
Yeah.
Have an extra million subscribers and an extra million viewers.
Yeah, so I'm going to say both relegated.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because it would be more horrific for Arsenal to get relegated.
Yeah, the pain that they would feel would be more than what Spurs would feel, so I'm going with that.
I'm going Champions League.
Yeah.
I want the Champions League. And Spurs ain't even in my thinking. I want the Champions League. I'm prepared to take that.
Well, hang on, so it's different for you though, because for you, Arsenal win the league, but Spurs win the Champions League.
No. Then if you flip it like that, then we just both get relegated or I die.
Okay, so, right. So Arsenal and Spurs fans happy to get relegated.
Yeah.
I mean, you can be happy, but we'll take it.
Get your or you die questions in. Put them in the comments.
Get more of them in.
If you're watching on YouTube, we want to keep this going, and we will ask Flav and myself. It obviously doesn't matter for this one. This podcast is brought to you by FanLeague, the FanLeague app, which is an app where you can predict or try to predict the outcome of 13 games in the Championship and the Premier League. We're both on the app. We both play every single week in the One for the Weekend League. Join us in that league by downloading the app. The link is in the description if you're watching on YouTube, or you could be listening to this on iTunes. If you are doing that, then download the app, search my name, James Alcott, and Flav as well. What are you, Gary Flavel?
Just Flav.
Flav.
Or Gary Flavel, yeah, either.
Really? And we'll add you into the One for the Weekend league.
Yeah, as we always say, if you like this podcast, you enjoy what you're doing, just download it, play the game, you're helping us out.
Yes.
And it's actually, once you get into it, you find out it's actually a very, very good little enjoyable app and something you can rib your friends over who knows a little bit more about football. I've got a question for you.
Go on, mate.
Who would you rather win the Champions League, Spurs or Arsenal? Or you die?
Goes with Spurs.
I mean,
He surely goes with Spurs.
Don't
for you, I like you, CJ. I think you're a good guy, but I've known Flav longer, and for me, it's probably more about that. I'm going to get hammered for this. I'm going to get hammered for this, but I'll put my neck on the line. do Arsenal fans deserve the Champions League?
Absolutely not.
Man. Of course we do. This is why
I'm not sure they do.
Of course we deserve that. Of course we deserve
You behave like children after every result.
Don't include me in them. I'm an Arsenal fan, but some of us are good people out here. I deserve Champions League. I think about that 06 final every night. I deserve that Champions League. I deserve that. I'm not having no other comments.
I like that. Do you know what? That's exactly what I remember. It's obviously it's difficult to compare the Champions League with the playoff final, but it's a final, and I remember thinking QPR didn't deserve to win that game.
17 minutes away
but
from
I
it.
deserved it.
Yeah,
I've said that in the past. I deserved it, and you just
exactly. I deserve it. I deserve it. I'm too good a guy not to deserve that. Like you can get onto my Arsenal fans, but I deserve that.
That's interesting though. I think I would probably, just to see how happy you could be for it, I'll let you have that. And you haven't won the league. Arsenal have won the league in the past. So I'm going to go.
Let's move on with the show, James.
True. We're going to basically talk about Arsenal Spurs for most of the podcast. Is this the fiercest derby in England?
Of course.
Because looking at it and
Doesn't
thinking about it,
both clubs are.
and the hatred's really strong.
Yeah, no, it's real. It's real. It's not. I mean, it's not the fiercest in England. I mean, West Ham Millwall is fiercer. But,
is it?
I mean, if Arsenal fans were as hard as Spurs fans, then we'd have an issue. Because
a bit
Arsenal's
cocktail
soft as shit.
Yeah.
I'm only joking. I'm going to wind up. There's it is fierce. It's real. It's tangible. I think it comes from a long time of Spurs fans being certainly on the pitch kind of lesser. We haven't been nearly as good as Arsenal have been overall in the last 25 years. So that kind of grates on us. Then you obviously
don't edit that out.
No, that's fine. I've said it many times before. I loathe Arsenal for many reasons, and one of those is the fact that they've lorded it over us for so long, and I had to live through that. I grew up, and I've said it many times. I went to Highbury Grove School. I've grown up in Holloway.
You're on the doorstep, yeah.
I know exactly what it's like. I'm surrounded by you, and
you're on the doorstep.
But now, things are a little bit different. We don't really. What happens on the pitch is less of an issue, but you still got that years and years and years of them being better than us. But more to the point, obviously the history of them coming into our area and taking our women and that.
Really?
Well,
were women taken?
Well, I just think all of them women would have been Spurs fans.
Right.
But some of them are Gooners now.
Yeah. Look at these trophies.
Yeah.
Both North London boys.
Yeah.
Do you, for people who watch the podcast, listen to the podcast, whatever, can you still feel it on the week of a derby? Can you still feel that? Does that exist anymore in such a global game?
Of course. If you're talking about the surroundings of North London, I wouldn't say no. You don't see it like that, but you definitely feel it. Whether you're in the pub, whether you're with your friends, you definitely feel it. That Arsenal versus Spurs, and you definitely feel when Saturday comes, you're either going to be ecstatic or you don't want anyone to. You just want to just curl in a ball and hide in a hole, essentially.
So this is fascinating as well. I think all football fans will understand this. The feelings and the emotions of the week of. A derby, your fierce derby. We spoke about it last week on the podcast. Go check that out because we talk about it a week in advance, and you were already feeling it. That hatred. And as soon as you walked through the door and we started talking about it, you were like, "I'm not looking forward to this."
Of course not. Of course not.
No one looks forward to it. It's not.
But if you're a Spurs fan, I honestly believe you should look forward to this because Arsenal are there for the taking. If we go and win in the unlikely event, we look stupid. But this is over the last 18 months, 2 seasons. This is arguably the best time to play Arsenal, not just for Spurs, for everyone. We don't turn up for derbies.
So Arsenal on their longest ever winless run against Spurs in the Premier League, having drawn 4 and lost 2 of the last 6 matches against.
We know they're going to get a pen as well. Someone's going to die. You've seen Kane do it. You've seen Dembele do it.
It's the best way. The best way to score against your rivals is get an undeserved pen like that. It feels so good.
Yum.
Yeah.
You can taste that, can't you?
Yeah. It's like. Injustice. First thing, the minute the final whistle went against Palace, immediately thinking about Arsenal. I've been thinking about it for the last 2 weeks. The Fighting Cock were doing like this live show before the game as well. It's quite this big event, and I'm absolutely. I can't tell you, the knots in my stomach are so severe at the moment.
And what has been the kind of wave of your gut? Like, has it gone?
Honestly, my gut feeling. Yeah. My gut feeling is that this will be a really, really difficult game. I can picture. Usually, I can picture what happens, and I feel like I'm right. I feel like I generally am. And I don't want to say this on camera, but this is what I'm feeling inside, and it's about trepidation. This is a huge game, and I can only be honest. I feel like something bad could happen. I genuinely don't. I'm not.
I hope you're right. Honestly, I hope you're right.
Do you think this is great? Look, I think the optimism of a football fan. You're in your gut, and when I'm saying the wave of your gut, you're constantly swaying between. If we get an early goal, we're better than them. We haven't lost in 6. We've got Harry Kane. He scores goals. This team is great. Arsenal are on the ropes here. All those feelings, and that it depends on the balance of you. I think it depends on the balance of you as a football fan. Are you like, screw it, we're gonna win? You will drift one way or the other, and I think the fan battle scars of previous years is why you feel like that. Because if you go on the basis of it, Spurs should be in great nick.
Should have every bit of confidence to go into this.
I mean, go on.
No, I'm just going to say tactics and stuff like that goes out the window in these games. But for the whole week, I've been looking at how we face you. If we're going to have any chance, I don't think we have a chance, but if we're going to have a chance, we need to stop Winks to get onto the ball. He likes to dictate play. We're not going to do that. We're not going to press your centre-halves. We're not going to limit your options in front so your centre-halves have to push up. Obviously, now, if they've pushed up, what does that leave? Gaps. We're not going to counter. We're not cerebral enough. That's why I don't think we can beat Spurs. Of course, to you guys watching, I hope to God I'm wrong, but tactically, I can't see a win here.
I'm starting to feel alright.
I can't be blindly optimistic. Like, I'm not with blind optimism.
But I've seen Spurs. This is the thing, and this is where it comes from. Is those moments? Like I think if we played Arsenal now 10 times in a row, we would beat them more than they would beat us. Right?
Exactly. So why are you not confident?
It's because there are those. There's that 2 games or 3 games out of that 10 that you might beat us and result. And the feeling, given the fact that everyone is so positive about Spurs at the moment going in. I know how great it is to win in a North London derby as the underdog. I know what that feels like, and it is incredible. And to not only lose, but then to give Arsenal fans that as well.
Yeah,
it's almost worse being in this situation. Going into the game at White Hart Lane, penultimate game last season, I was so confident. I thought there is zero chance that Arsenal fans can beat us. That's how I feel now, thinking back. There's no way Arsenal Football Club can beat us. Sorry.
Yeah, dare you say it? Do you know what I mean?
There's nothing you can do. It's the last game at White Hart Lane. Your hearts will not be anywhere near where we are. But this is different. This is about putting points on the table.
And this is what I was saying to you earlier before we started recording. I said, like, that's what I was meaning by overconfidence and you lot believing that you can just turn up and win. You shouldn't look at Arsenal. You're your own worst enemy if you don't win. If you just think, like you said, everybody's feeling good. If you just go out there, forget that it's Arsenal, just concentrate on the 90 minutes. Pochettino will galvanise them. Just focus on your job. You blitz Arsenal. Like, look, you blitz Arsenal. So we're a soft touch.
So let us know. We'll put a poll card up here. I'd love to know. Vote before the game if you can, if you do watch this. Who are the favourites for this game? Arsenal or Spurs?
Spurs, without a doubt. Like, look at the 2 clubs. Like,
yeah.
Like they have 23 points.
That's a fact.
Yeah, that's a fact.
I mean, you look.
We're 19. We got 19 points. We're 6th. They're 2nd. They got 23. That says it all. Look at the goals against. That says it all as well. They can hold the back line. We can't.
Which leads me to the next question, which is, I think, from watching from afar, and I think the same thing used to be with Chelsea and Spurs. There was not just the squad was better in terms of Chelsea or Arsenal. Psychologically, there was a real
inferior complex.
Yeah. To a point, Spurs were kind of stretching a little bit in terms of their squad, hoping that
you can do something.
That 3 out of 10 sort of thing will happen that way round.
Yeah.
As you know, long-standing fans of both those clubs, has the psychological edge switched now?
Of course.
Has it flipped?
Of course. Because if I look at them 2 sides, you put them 2 11s out, I don't care what these football fans say. There's not much in it between the 2 11s. The difference is mentality. Spurs are behaving like winners, behaving like they can win. It doesn't matter if they play Real Madrid or Stoke City. They believe they can go out there. A lot of that is down to Pochettino. You can see Pochettino's South American stuff transmitting to his side. We haven't got that. It doesn't matter if we play City or whoever. You see the same old stale approach. If we go to if you lot coming to our place, right? If they come to our place and we do this playing in front thing, Spurs are the most organised side in the league. They will laugh that up and counter attack us and take 3 points. Again, why I can't be blindly confident about us.
I say, okay, right. Let's spin it then. Why? How can Arsenal win this game then?
Firstly, turning up like we haven't done against City or any.
What does that mean though?
Believe it, like we've been down this road. I'm pretty sure you guys have spoken about it, showing heart, showing intent. I can list off all these commitments and all these cliches. They're the only things, but I can't give them. The players need to do that. Away from Wenger,
does that mean you're seeing a lack of effort?
That's the case of Arsenal. That is the case.
They're not running hard enough.
They run and stuff, but there's passion. You need to be winners for yourself. Like Wenger, there's a lot wrong with Wenger, but Wenger shouldn't have to tell you need to win this game. You need to turn up against the likes of City. They need to be winners for themselves. Look at your squad. Danny Rose, once upon a time, I'm sure every Spurs fan wants him out. Now you're seeing him in the sun talking about playing for other clubs, talking about winning stuff. There's ambition in that side. We're not together. The ones that are winners, they clearly don't want to be here in Alexis and Ozil. So what can we do?
But with the frustration that Arsenal fans have about their plight,
Yeah.
In terms of having a title challenge or whatever. Can you truly quantify heart, effort?
You can.
Outside the realms of winning or losing a game of football.
You can, because
Will you see? Is there a game of football that Arsenal can lose and Arsenal fans will still go? They gave everything.
100%. There's been games like that. I have none to hand, but if you go out there, you show heart, commitment, and the other team were better, of course it's going to hurt, but I can't take anything away. What was it? There was a game, what was it? Who did we play? I think we played Chelsea last year. They smacked us at home, but we changed formations, and for a couple segments, I saw certain characteristics. If you put in 100% and we don't win, we don't win. That's what typically used to be with Arsenal.
You don't sound or talk like most Arsenal fans.
Because I'm not like them, unfortunately. We have a lot of prawn cocktail and Prosecco fans, unfortunately.
Are we unfair in saying that?
No, you are unfair because there's fans like me, but you're right, because Arsenal fans, you do see the meltdowns on several social media things. I don't really care for these 3 FA Cups or however many 6 trophies in 4 years or whatever, but when outsiders see things like that, it does look like Arsenal fans are spoiled brats. But what they don't see is this carrot we're dangled, Bayern Munich level, blah blah blah, and then that same person in Ivan Glazides who said that has come out and said we're overachieving. I'm sorry, but what club have people been watching just say Arsenal's been doing that? Doesn't make sense, does it?
I think that what he was basing it on was, what was it? It was metrics, wasn't it? It was on
and this is the crap I'm talking about at this club.
He was suggesting that with the amount spent, in comparison to the other clubs and the amount that they spend, because essentially you look at a Premier League table, you look at any table, the team that spends the most money, Man City, is at the top. The team that spends second most, Man United, and I might be wrong in this, so don't go mad in the comments.
But more or less, it's the point.
It's money talks, right?
Over time,
exactly. So overall, though they spent 50 million the summer before, whatever it was, that's not a huge amount.
Okay.
As
they
it
should
used
be
to
spending more.
They
So
should
your
be doing
points
that.
per-
From a business point of view, that's superb for Arsenal. That's superb for Kroenke. That's all Kroenke cares about. That's a fantastic business model. They're generating their own money. They're punching above their weight prior to last year being in the top 4. The problem is, unfortunately, we're a football club. And when you said United and City and all of them clubs, they have spent a lot. But what do you see from the top? You see intent. City want to be an elite club. United want to get back to what they want to do. Spurs want to be among in that conversation. Every other club, even if we want to be harsh, I know it's going to sound mad, but even Burnley, of course, they're not got ambition like that. But you can see a galvanised squad playing for their manager. Can you honestly say that about Arsenal? You can't, can you? You can't. I think at this point I'm not confident.
Do you know what I do? Sometimes I put myself in, I did my podcast last night. Great touch for a big lad. And we were talking about Ventura, the Italy manager, and I was thinking, I felt sorry for the guy because he spent his whole life managing. He's been basically in work. Hang on, he's been basically in work from 1976 to now, right? But his entire legacy will revolve around being the only Italian manager ever to not take their
that's
team
your
to
fault.
the
He should have changed his tactics.
Or don't take the job. You know
the game's not based on sympathy.
I get it.
Yeah, but you're too nice.
You're too nice. Like, you're a nice guy. But football's not nice.
The point I'm getting at is that
I'd rather be like that. That's a nice way to be. You come across as a nice person, and that's ultimately being alive. This planet is about being kind to each other, right?
The point I'm getting at is sometimes you need to switch it around and understand.
Look at it from a different viewpoint.
Exactly. And so I think that's just an example of me doing that. But when I think of the Arsenal squad, right? Imagine they're not just going out and standing still, are they? They must go, right, come on.
Yeah.
Today's the day. But for whatever reason, these intangibles, I feel like sometimes there's a perception of Arsenal that they can't escape it.
They can't.
Outside of
who
winning.
is that down to? As much as I love Wenger, that is on Wenger, because of course they're not going out there and saying we don't want to win and things. But how do you change that? Wenger's not changing that. He's not pulling people up on nonsense. Of course he does in the rare cases. Pochettino, again, if someone does something, what did he say when you signed was it Aurier? He said if you do certain dumb things, I'm gonna break your nose. Now you don't see certain things. It's a soft touch.
Townsend, who showed even just the tiniest amount of dissent to one of our trainers. He was gone.
Stuff like this.
But the
game is past Wenger.
It is on Wenger.
But it's past him.
Yeah, you're right. Because the bottom line is when you are having that problem as a footballer, you're looking for something.
It's great that he defends.
Sorry, keep talking. This is winding me up.
It's great that It's great that he defends his players. 9 times out of 10, that's great. You want to see your players being backed by their manager, and that's good for the players. But when you're constantly doing it, you're allowing for I don't even know the word, complacency to happen. If you're not pulling Xhaka up when he's losing the ball, if you're not pulling Bellerin up for certain things, if you're allowing these back four and these strikers to do certain things, this facilitates nonsense. Right? Arsenal just a joke, sadly, right now.
Okay.
Exactly.
Enjoying
Pains
this?
to say that.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I mean, he's making a lot of sense, and it's an open insight because obviously, from an outside perspective, all you just see is you see the meltdowns, and you can, and we talked about it. DT was supposed to be on this podcast, but he was poorly. He makes a lot of sense despite all of the volume
stuff when you listen.
When you actually listen to what he says and you understand where the anger comes from. But you kind of, from a Spurs fans and West Ham and Chelsea, you're looking at it and it's
enjoyable. We want it to continue.
But I want Arsenal to foul.
There's nothing wrong with that.
But I want you to go out of business.
Yeah. I can assure you.
I want Arsenal.
No matter how bad
exist.
you think Spurs get, you want Arsenal to do. I want it to be worse for Spurs. But there's nothing wrong with that.
I want to see Arsenal kids crying in the streets. I can take this further if you want.
You can do that, right?
No. So
I want you to get you lot's ground again, but it ain't gonna happen.
All right, there you go. It's all nice and for a bit. Descending now.
I know, Paul. Get your predictions for the game in. We've still got more bits to talk about, including explaining this, guys.
I don't know what's going on.
Sticking with Arsenal Spurs. This, of course, as you probably will have guessed by now, is the Rowan Ricketts North London Knowledge Quiz Trophy.
Wow.
Which is exciting for all of us.
I love you. I love when you produce a pod. There's so many little exciting bits that I don't know about. Come on.
This week's bit. So we've got a little quiz. Love that. Last week, if you, I'll set the question if you want to answer it on this occasion, but you're probably best off going out there. Actually, I'll tell you what, I'm just going to tell you the answers. Go to last week's pod and you can see what the question was. Right. But the answers are Kane, Fowler, Ronaldo, Aguero, Bale, Henry, Andy Johnson, Fernando Torres, Adebayor, Rooney, Sturridge, Shearer, Robin Van Persie, James Beattie and Louis Saha.
What was the question?
But what was the question? Let us know in the comments.
Let us know.
This week, of course...
Good, see you didn't do it.
See what I'm doing. Rowan Ricketts North London Knowledge Quiz Trophy. So, I've got 5 questions and a tiebreaker, which doesn't make sense when you've got 5 questions. See what happens. You've both got a buzzer sound, so if you know the answer... Flav, I'd like you to shout third in a 2-horse race.
Fuck off.
And CJ, if you know the answer, I want you to shout, it's time to go. Alright?
That's certainly better than his one.
Yeah. Right, so we kick off with Arsene Wenger, and play along, of course, in the comments. Arsene Wenger recently celebrated 20 years in charge of Arsenal. Can you remember who scored Arsenal's first North London derby goal of the Wenger era? It was in 96, 97.
Whoa,
Don't just answer it. Remember your buzzer sound.
97.
5.
You have
4,
that.
1997.
3,
third in the 2-horse race. I'd say Ray Parlour.
Incorrect. It goes to the comments. I'll let you know. I'll put a little star next to this, Flav. So next week, you can let them know.
Oh yeah, because you're not here.
I'm not here. When did Spurs last do the double over Arsenal, beating them home and away in the league?
Third in the 2-horse race.
Yes, Flav.
Was it 1991?
It wasn't. I'll let you guess and steal. I'll give you a clue. He's close.
I'm not going to sit here and be like, God knows.
Was it 1993?
It goes to the comments, I'm afraid. Could be 2-0 to the comments. Right.
These are quite old.
Yeah.
Right.
22.
Who is it? Well, I know your history.
Yeah. Listen.
I know who's top scorer in 1976 for QPR. Stan Bowles. All right. Who is the top scorer in North London derbies in the Premier League era?
Please be Thierry.
I would say
time to go.
Whoa, buzzer
time to go,
please.
Thierry Henry.
Incorrect.
Third and 2-horse race. Robert Pires.
Incorrect.
Oh, that's a good shout.
To the comments.
Perez.
Could be 3-0 to the comments. We just don't know. Right.
Who
was the last player to move from Arsenal to Spurs?
Gallas. Time to go, Gallas.
Correct. CG, CJ, whatever you want to call him, goes 1-0. Final 2 questions. Right. Sol Campbell is one of the most notable to represent both clubs. But who did he play more games for?
I don't know. I don't care.
I'm going to say Arsenal. Even
well, you might want to say your buzzer sound first.
Oh, yeah. Time to go.
Go on.
In fact, Spurs.
Spurs is right.
Alright, 2-0.
There's literally only 2 answers for that. You could have got that. Why are you sulking?
Because I'm not asking a question about that scumbag.
I
will not even say his name.
I didn't realise. And finally, how many... I didn't.
Yes, you did. You're being
I got it off the Metro. It took me 2 minutes. How many full-time Tottenham managers have been and gone since Wenger became Arsenal boss?
It's time to go 10.
Incorrect.
9.
Incorrect.
Time to go 7.
Oh, well, hang on. Let me get one go each. I've not read the rules, I gave them to you before. 11 is the answer.
Wow.
Oh, come on.
See, this is a major thing for Arsenal. You know, you can get rid of Arsene Wenger and it is time to go, right? But it is time for him to go, but
he ain't going nowhere.
But you enter then into the very much the unknown.
I feel sorry for the next manager because he's going to have an impossible job, not because Wenger's great or nothing. Look at the men upstairs. Wenger knows the club and you know how Wenger is, so he can get away with it. The next manager is not going to have that, not going to have any real direction. And as someone that's not emotionally attached as Wenger to this club, they're just, the minute that happens, you're going to be out. So again, like I told you before we started talking, sleepwalking into the abyss further. That's it. That's actually what it is.
You're entering a period of really not knowing season on season what's going to go on in your football club. At least
no one knows that.
You don't know from game. No. There's certain
things. Top 4 for 20.
It's not even that.
Yeah,
They
knew.
That might be fun. You might enjoy that.
It's to do with in game. You knew what you was going to get in the game. You knew you was going to get some passion, some desire, some good football at a time. We don't even play that now. When was the last time I honestly woke up excited to watch my football club? The very meaning for all of us being football fans. It's like, I'm going to sound mad.
Why do you even bother? It sounds horrible.
Like, it is horrible, but I love my club.
CJ's going to be on Social Club on Monday, and I actually would like Arsenal to win this game because I don't think I want to see him any more depressed than he is right now.
I don't think we've won since I was
to cheer you up. And ironically, it goes beyond the Spurs fan. The trophy goes to the Arsenal.
If only my club could start winning things like that.
Just because there's difference there.
Right, soldiers lost in battle. Let's get into that before we talk about feeder clubs and Tony Pulis possibly going, and that'll be a lot. So let's do soldiers lost in battle. Do your thing, Flav.
So hypothetically, imagine Spurs smashed Arsenal 5-0 at the Emirates this weekend, and for some reason your girlfriend or your wife or maybe your dog are sick and you can't go. You would be a soldier lost in battle, and right now what you're about to hear is some of your brothers lost in arms.
Yeah. Right. Here we go. Marching on together. It was around about November in 2011 where my beloved Leeds were playing at home against Blackpool, but this wasn't any ordinary game. My dad's mates had tickets for the match in the best box in the ground, so we obviously watched the game in the box instead of our usual matchday seats. Although this event soon turned sour as Holloway's Blackpool, hot kitten, went into half-time 3-0 up. Our current goalie at the time, Paul Rakuba, who went on to be voted the worst ever goalkeeper, was subsequently subbed off at half-time. We then went on to lose 5-0 overall. 5-0 to a Holloway side with Lualua and Craig Cathcart, just to name a few. We also made Shelby look like a young Maradona. Since this match I've had numerous offers to sit in that very box, but I've declined them all as I think they're signs of bad luck. They're a load of Ponzi bullshit anyway. George won. It was early 2015 and Arsenal had hit form in the FA Cup, taking them to the quarterfinals against Manchester United at Old Trafford. My dad had got us tickets to the game, which was scheduled to be played on a Saturday. I was buzzing. It took a few days for the news to come out that the game had been rescheduled to a Monday at 8 p.m, which happened to be the night before I had an English GCSE exam. This meant that I could not go to the game because my mum thought that sitting one of 2 English exams was more important than going to Old Trafford to watch Arsenal take on Man United. If I fucked up on this exam, I had another chance to redeem myself, but there was no second leg in the Arsenal game. Arsenal went on to win 2-1 with Welbeck scoring the winner, and I got a B in English. I'll never forgive the BBC for changing that date.
That's quality.
And lastly,
It's a good one.
let me just get the music to go back, because this happens every week, you know, having it. Right. And finally, Tom Parks, soldiers lost in battle. I'm a Tottenham fan living in Bradford, so it's hard to get down to games.
I'm loving this already.
My friend told me he had tickets for the Real Madrid game. However, the day before, he realised he actually bought tickets for the Apoel game instead. He couldn't find tickets for the Real Madrid game and had to watch it in the pub I work at instead, where everybody there knew I was supposed to be there watching it.
Is that the 3-1, obviously?
That's the one recently.
Wow. I mean, I was queuing up to get my ticket for that. I lost my card, and the club, I noticed what the club had put it behind. So I was in this really exec part of the ticket office that only VIPs and players' friends could get their ticket from. So I'm queuing up. I had to get ID to get into the queue just to get my ticket. It was that exclusive. And this guy walked up behind me after I got all this grief getting in, and he was a Spanish guy, and he goes, "Do you know where I can get a ticket?" And I went,
do the accent.
No, not doing the accent. I don't know how to do that. But and without sounding like a fucking racist or something. So you went, and he went. I goes, it's sold out. It's sold out in like 20 minutes. It's like no chance. And he went, I've taken 3 planes to get here today, and I'm like, you come here without a ticket? I think they see 90,000.
What's taking 3 planes from Spain?
It might be a very remote part of Spain. I don't know. Little biplane, then an interconnected. And then he goes, you can go down onto the Wembley Way and you can buy tickets there. And he said, I tried, and then they wanted 600 quid a ticket. That is unforgivable, though. That is just how can you mess? I don't know how you'd actually make that mistake. Like Applewell, when you look at it on paper, looks nothing like Real Madrid.
Yeah,
if
that's
it
true.
has Atletico Madrid, maybe, but
unforgivable. But get your soldiers lost in battle stories in.
I know what's happened.
What?
That geezer just nicked his ticket. He just said he bought Applewell. He actually bought Real Madrid. He's ended up watching the pub, and his mates
swapped him around, and he's got a cheap Applewell one on the back.
Your mate's done ya.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Wasn't he in the pub though? I thought it was his pub, so they were just laughing at him. I don't know. Get your soldiers lost in battle stories in. We love to read them. We've still got a few to get through, but we need to stockpile.
The quality's dipped somewhat. Up your game.
Really sadder stories. Can you get sadder?
Can you
get sadder?
We'd even like to read a death to a distant relative. That would be alright.
Which caused you to miss the game.
Yeah.
Actually, you're more annoyed about missing the game
than the death.
Wow.
Like, if you want to go there, you can. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah, because it's just a bit of fun.
It's a banner. It's a little segment of the podcast everyone loves, James.
Exactly. Feeder clubs. The reason why I want to talk about that is because Liverpool are playing Southampton this weekend.
Hey.
Van Dijk going to Anfield.
Has he played a game for Southampton? Yeah.
Yes, he has. He started to start again.
Back in,
so the Reds have plundered 98 million on players to Southampton in the Premier League era. Varying success. Paul Jones, you might remember. Remember the goalkeeper? Did well at Southampton, went to Liverpool. Peter Crouch made a move. And then recently, Lallana, Lovren, Lambert, Mane, Klein. It's mad.
Yeah, leave him alone.
Literally, read that.
Leave him alone.
Leave him alone.
Leave him alone.
So, I just wondered who is the club that just won't leave you alone? That pinch your players have always done it.
You want to go first or shall I?
Go on.
Historically, it's been Barcelona. If you just go and look at Silvinho, Petit, etc., down to the present day of Hileb and Thierry. But I'd say City. Yeah. Well, you could make a case for Chelsea because they took one of my favourite after Henry in Ashley Cole, and I'll never forgive them for that. But I'd say City because you've seen numerous players, Kolo Torres, Adebayor, Clichy, Nasri, etc. So Sanchez present day as well.
So Barcelona
for free.
Numbers for Barcelona. You got Petit, Overmars, Hleb,
Henry,
Silvinho, Vermaelen. We had
Vermaelen. There's a couple others.
Okay, that's quite a lot.
What is that, 6?
That's 6 I've got off the top of my head. Let us know if we've missed any.
I'll do.
Then Man City, you've got
Toure, Clichy, Nasri. I'm sure there's someone else. Yeah, I said Clichy. There's someone else. There's definitely someone. Fabregas can be on for Barcelona as well.
Yeah.
They took him back technically, but yeah.
That's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And the Spurs?
We don't really have one because we kind of got pillaged by everyone. But
that's like us now.
Real Madrid took Modric and Bale, which are by far and away the two, and they're one of my favourite players, but they're the two best players that we've had in 2 decades probably. So the fact that they took both of those, and the fact that ultimately you know that if they come up, they're taking a place it's like I've been watching American Gods recently, right?
What's that?
American Gods, the Amazon TV program, and the main guy in it is like a mixed race, built like a brick shit house, really good looking, and like if he wanted my missus, he could take her.
Right. I was wondering where you're going.
No matter how much I love her, I love my missus. She knows how much I love her, right? She knows that. Love her loads, absolutely loads, and she loves me. But if he wanted to, there's not much she could do. Like anyone would have fall to him. That's a bit like Real Madrid. No matter how good I am to her,
there's just some clubs you can't say no to.
You can't say no to.
It's just levels.
Real Madrid's like a well-built mixed race guy.
Yeah, who's like lovely skins and chiseled. That's kind of where I'm at with it with Real Madrid. But in terms of the other way around, but we in terms of feeder club, we pinch Ajax players all day, and there's supposed to be some sort of agreement, like friendship agreement between the fans. There's this kind of link, mainly around the kind of Jewish culture around the football clubs, but also the fans previously have joined up to fight other supporters in various countries as well, like Eindhoven. When Spurs, there was this sort of friendly hooligan agreement type thing.
That's lovely.
Yeah, it's like, you make friends where you can. And but we've nicked all their players. Like we've got Vertonghen, Alderweireld, Sanchez. So the back three are all Ajax. And Eriksen, we saw what he did.
Southampton,
But Eriksen, saw what he did. It's insane money in it.
It's ridiculous.
After last night,
when Coutinho's people are bidding 100 odd, you have to consider what people are going to put on the table for Eriksen.
What they'd have to pay.
I go on about. I'm going to kill myself again. With Eriksen, because he doesn't look sexy.
Yeah.
Do people think he can't be that great?
Yeah.
I do.
I think his quality is shining through now, right? But if he had a Mohican that was dyed,
people to fall in love with, essentially.
Yeah, but so if you had a green Mohican, right? And if he had half his face tattooed and tattoos all up his arms and that, right, he'd be worth £20 million more.
He'd be playing for Napoli, yeah.
I just think it's because people can't see what he brings. Let's be honest, not a lot of people have a high footballing IQ. It's similar to Ozil. Like, you see what Eriksen does. Eriksen's a very technically based footballer, but he doesn't run the far this or nothing.
I mean, about 18 months ago, we said on our podcast that Eriksen would be the easiest upgraded
Never, man. I love that guy. I hate that he plays for you lot, but I've always loved that guy.
But you can say that now, can't you?
Yeah, in hindsight, it's easy to say because he's been great since. Yeah. But what someone brought to my attention was what he does off the ball and how he's...
You know how much he runs?
Yeah.
I went to you guys a couple of years ago. I went Monaco versus Spurs, and I'm pretty sure Eriksen was there.
Why?
Wanted to see Thomas Lemar, man. Scouting and that. But
really love football.
For fuck's sake. Will no one scout this guy? I'll do it.
I'll do it myself. I'll watch it and talk about my thing. But yeah, I saw the running he does off the ball. It's crazy. It's like exactly what people used to say of Eriksen. You could see it with Ozil. It's because they're not robust and they're not flying into challenges and stuff. Eriksen's a lovely footballer, and I can't wait till he leaves Spurs, man. Barcelona need to come and take their guy.
I mean, they will.
If you're asking, Brentford probably for us. We just pinch their players when we were fancy. Right. Right.
Kevin Rowland.
Martin Rowland.
Whatever. Who gives a shit? Really?
Oh, come on. Right.
Do you watch any Championship football?
Of course not, man. Playoffs, that's about it.
Right.
If I can be bothered.
Yeah, exactly.
Just switch it on.
Is the ball ever on the floor?
Is there any more El Dorado on? Rather watch that. Yeah, it's
another one, is it?
Old, really poor.
Yeah. Is it right?
Probably get it on UK Gold.
Right, next in the fire line, final thing I want to talk about, because this is a sort of life conversation here. Tony Pulis is the next favourite to be sacked by West Brom. Haven't won in 10 games, but if he goes, are we losing the life lesson of the power of pragmatism? Because with Tony, look, you love to hate him a little bit. Everyone's got an excuse, we lost to this lot because of that, and he's always had success in the Premier League to a point.
Yeah.
And despite how turgid the football is.
Very boring.
But if you lose him, do you lose
that safety net?
Do you lose a kind of... There are other ways of winning a football game that, regardless of the quality of the football, it can be done. Are QPR fans losing a dream?
No. I mean, look, Ranieri didn't win the league with Leicester because he was pragmatic. He found a system that worked for him that was individualistic. He got the best out of his players. Individualistic to his style of play, and it worked. I know it's horrendous. But there's nothing positive about pragmatism in football. It makes the game boring, and it should be removed.
Exactly. Do you love Tony Pulis? Tell us why. Why do you love Tony Pulis? Because I think he's quite hard to love, but somehow I do like him. I'll tell you why I like him. I'll tell you why I love him. Right? My mate Craig, also on Great Touch for a big lad, also on Bear Pit TV as well. He's a Stoke City fan. We went and watched the London Marathon once, right? And he was wearing his Stoke shirt.
Why did you do that?
Yeah.
Well, we'd been out the night before and it was just on the street. It was literally like in a flat right next to it.
Whatever. You had a day out.
Let's watch him run.
Yeah, exactly.
People do that. Good luck to him. Craig was wearing a Stoke City shirt, and we were walking along the road, and he said, "Yeah, I think Tony Pulis is doing the marathon." And about 3 minutes later, he's walking. He got a pat on the bum. It was Tony Pulis doing the marathon, running past him. And he just gave like that Tony Pulis.
Craig a pat on the arse.
Yeah, because he had a Stoke City shirt, and then obviously signature hat, of course.
Yeah.
For the first time, it's practical, and did a great like Tony Pulis cackle, and just was on his way. And that's why I love Tony Pulis.
It's fine. I just wouldn't want him anywhere near my football club.
Wenger don't like him. I don't like him.
Keep
up his failures, man.
You don't like Wenger?
Yeah, Wenger. I love Wenger. He just needs to call it a day. Like you can't love Arsenal. Realistically, if you love Arsenal, you love what Wenger's done for the club. But it's a bit like Moses. You've taken the people to the promised land. You need to call it a day now, which he won't. If it was up to me, he'd be upstairs in the board.
I'd prefer to use the kind of comparison to sort of Robert Mugabe rather than.
Yeah.
Didn't use at the moment.
Yeah, he did.
He's just been deposed.
Has he deposed finally?
So it's just Wenger standing
someone
then.
just stayed too long. Yeah. Did a lot of good at the beginning.
Zimbabwe fan TV.
Stayed too long.
But that's the thing. Wenger's only known football. He's in a bubble, and there's nothing we can do but just suck it up.
I think you should be allowed to stay and ruin your club. He built it.
Of course you say that.
He built it, so you might as well be allowed to ruin it.
Do you agree with Flav? Let us know in the comments below.
I want to say built. It took us to the next level, but I want to say built.
Well, before we
were fairly mediocre. He's dying by the own standards.
I mean, it was literally just pumping it long, let Ian Wright latch onto it. That was your football club. That was your legacy.
That's all that matters, man.
Do you want Steve Morrow to be playing for you again?
No, he's doing all right in the coaching stuff. To be honest with you.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
All right.
Doing all right.
There you go. That's it for another Fan League One for the Weekend podcast. Download the app. Do us a favour. The link is in the description. Come and join the One for the Weekend League.
It is good fun.
Every week.
It's good fun.
I won't be here next week. I'm off on the old honeymoon.
You're going to the Kenya.
Going to Quinoa with the missus. Should be good. But Flav will be hosting Soldiers and Battles. I've got a whole folder for it. I'll send it to you.
Yeah. So all those little games and that. You want that? Don't come back.
And if you don't like that,
I'll forget. I'll forget. If you don't like that, come back. Who have you got on?
I don't know.
Honestly, just me. I've been waiting for a chance to monologue it down the down the line.
Finally, right? Yeah, don't turn off.
Yeah.
Right, just a monologue for 45 minutes.
No, well, look, if we absolutely pump Arsenal, then you're more than welcome to come back, CJ.
There's no way I'm coming back to sit with you and have you get on to it.
Well, we've got Social Club on Monday, so that could be very interesting.
Yeah.
I look forward to watching that.
You're not here either.
Arsenal, please.
So that's the reason behind Ball Street South. You get to watch this on Monday.
As it stands, I'm not like one of them gloaty guys. Yeah,
you should be.
No. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Like if whatever happens at the weekend, come Monday. It's done.
If we win, I'm coming here with my chest high.
Don't come in then.
With that.
Don't come in. I don't care if it ruins the show. I will close the door. You weren't allowed in.
Not my problem. Out of office. Right. Hit that subscribe button. Do us a favour. That helps as we try and get ourselves to 70k. Congratulations to CJ with winning the Rowan Ricketts Football Knowledge Trophy. Flav, thank you as ever. You are a lovely man. I love you very much.
More trophies than Poch.
We'll be back next week. Keep an eye on the Bull Street channel. We'll see you then.
Download the app and join today.